Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Oz Chris, here with reviews on Shazam number 3 and The Silencer number 14. So, starting off with Shazam, The Malevolent Machinations of Mr. Mine. I gotta say, this is a really, really good cover. I like the art, I like the coloring with this cover. But it has a problem, and I will get to it at the end of reviewing this issue. So, starting off in the Funlands, Billy and the rest of the Marvel family are treated to a feast, a celebration by King Kid, who reveals that he wants to be their 7th champion in pretty much just their 7th champion, as there are 7 magic lands and each needs a champion. So he wants to be their 7th champion, but Mary, the oldest of the group, is a bit hesitant. Somehow, although he gives an explanation, somehow King Kid knows who they are. This seems a bit too easy. You know, Funland is just the first place they visit. All of these places were sealed off. They go to Funland and it's perfect. A little too perfect for Mary, and she kind of realizes this. So we get a little backstory about King Kid's origins, and pretty much he was treated like shit. He found a wishing stick which granted his all of his wishes true, and from it he was able to create Funland. And he slightly talks about all the other lands. You know, there's Funland, there's Wazenda lands, the Wildlands, Earthlands, Monsterlands, Darklands, and the Game lands. And after discovering that Mary is almost an adult, his true colors show, and he orders everyone to be kidnapped, forcing Billy and 2 other members of his family to transform to Shazam up. It's Shazamming time in order to free them, but they are all separated from one another, and that will lead into issue number 4 onward. So, art as always, art by Dale Eaglesham, Marco Santucci, Mayo Sen Nato, and the coloring by Mike Talia. Amazing. I absolutely love it. Great art and great coloring as always from the team on Shazam. Dale Eaglesham and Alex Sinclair did the cover, which is it's a good cover. I really like the cover. But you remember how I said at the start there's a problem with the cover. The problem is Mr. Mind is not in this issue. Where is Mr. Mind? I can't see him anywhere in this book. He's not in here. The Malevolent Machinations of Mr. Mind. So the malevolent plot schemes of Mr. Mind, we don't see it. He is mentioned that he has unleashed monsters into each of the magic lands, hence why they were closed off. But he's not in this book. It's false advertising. And the thing is, with Shazam so far, there's 3 different plots. There's this main plot of Billy and the family discovering the magic lands and exploring them, or being split off and sent to different parts of the lands. There's Savannah and Mr. Mind, their plan. They're trying to gather up power and magic for themselves for their own plans. And then there's Billy's real dad has come to take him, or wants to meet him. Depending. I know one of the solicits says where in one of the future issues, Billy has to choose which family he wants to stick with. It's fairly obviously going to be the Marvel family he's going to stick with. But, you know, there's these 3 ongoing plots, and while this is obviously the main one of them exploring the different magic lands, that you would think with Mr. Mind on the cover, we would explore a bit more of what Mr. Mind is doing. But no, like I said, he's only mentioned in this book, in this issue. He's nowhere to be seen in this comic. So despite the fact it's a great cover, it's false advertising. So you know what? I might start rating some stuff. Put some ratings. So art definitely. I'm gonna give a 5 out of 5. The art and coloring, 5 out of 5. Cover, despite the fact it's false advertising, Mr. Mind is not on the cover. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Story, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I know, having read a little bit of the older Captain Marvel stuff, I can see why a lot of people don't like Jeff Johns' run, but I've never been that much of a Captain Marvel fan. So just going in it from a story perspective, it's a fun, entertaining story so far. So story, I'll give a 4 out of 5. So averaging about 4 out of 5 total for Shazam #3. So good book regardless of false advertising, but great art, coloring, cover, and story regardless. So on to Silencer #14. I thought I might as well get back to reviewing the only ones of the New Age of Heroes I got. So at least Silencer, since unfortunately Damage is going to be ending soon. And so this, from April, after April, so May onwards, this and Terrifics are the only ones left. And I highly expect them to be cancelled sometime soon, since there's rumors of DC is going to be cutting some of their books. So as much as I really like Silencer, I want it to stay, I expect it to be cut, since all of the New Age of Heroes has been cut so far, apart from these two. So Silencer #14, the start of a new story. Leviathan is back to its full power. Talia has ended the Civil War, pretty much forcing everyone to decide, you're either with me or against me, and everyone decides to be smart and is with her. So Talia is back in control of Leviathan, and worst of all, the Silencer, Honor, she is now back in Talia's grasp, in her thralls, having been forced to go into a Lazarus pit after being killed, if I remember correctly, forced into a Lazarus pit to bring her back and remove her memories. So in one of her first missions, she's sent to stop someone called Zygo, who's been selling illegal genetic experiments and enhancements and things like the black market or stuff like that. So so for the majority of this comic, it's just all these great looking, just badass action scenes with the Silencer just cutting up, shooting everyone up, and this is what I definitely like to see more of, just parts where the Silencer uses her ability to just quiet the whole area that she's in, so no words and no sound can be heard from outside. So she succeeds in her mission, confronts Zygo. All of this is being watched by Talia, Jonah 9, and Quietus to see if what has happened to her is 100% effective. And it seems so. It seems like Honor is back to properly working for Talia and is able to dispense of Zygo and his lab, but some of his experiments, but more importantly, some of Raish's experiments have gotten loose, are still alive, and they have a connection to the Silencer, which I won't reveal. And in the second half of this story, it's exploring her husband and her son, mainly her husband grieving, thinking she's lost or maybe dead, but starting to figure out there's something more to his wife that he doesn't know. So overall story, 4 out of 5. Cover, I really like the cover. Great looking art by, I didn't get the name of who did the cover. Tyler Kirkham and Arif Prianto did the cover. Really good cover. I'll give that a 4 out of 5 for that one. Art, while I've seen while I've seen better art, I still do like the art by, coloring by Mike Spencer and who does the art? Maybe it is just Spencer. No, Spencer does the colors. Sandu Floria does the inks. Mike Spencer does the color. I guess that is it. Yeah. Probably. I'll give that. I'll say 4 out of 5. Yeah, close to a 4 out of 5. In between. Yeah, I'll say 4 out of 5 for art. Art is decent, but it works. While it might not be my favorite art, and I've seen better looking art, it works well with the atmosphere and the setting of this comic. With grim, grit, just gritty, just badass assassin action, which the art shows very well with each of the scenes. So, and story, 4 out of 5. So averaging 4 out of 5 for The Silencer number 14. And that is it for these two. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.